I always thought funerals were sad. Grey events, with dozens of people holding back umbrellas in the rain while a coffin is slowly lowered into the ground. In the films, there's a grieving mother and one scorned descendant who stays and talks to the deceased after everyone's moved on. But maybe funerals are different in South London, because I can already tell that today is going to be one highly calamitous affair. The funeral that goes wrong. He was in an induced coma for some time, so people did have time to say goodbye to him beforehand at least. My Uncle Greg was in a coma for 4 days after he slipped in the shower and smashed his head off the tap. We visited him in the ICU, and I remember wondering if I squeezed the pouch of his IV drip, would it make his cheeks bulge out like a cartoon? I was young. My Uncle Greg survived. This isn't his funeral. This is the funeral of Hussein Krishnan, some random ancestor who married my dad's aunt once removed and twice put back, or something. Strenuous link. But here we are. Lara's godmother is giving us a lift to the cemetery because my parents are already there arranging flowers. When she turned up, she was hunched over the steering wheel, wearing dark shades and mopping her nose. My first brush with grief. Now we've been in the car for 10 minutes, the awkward silence occasionally broken by the godmother's sniffling. You okay, Josephine? I adjust my voice to the just right level of care and sympathy. From the back seat, my sister reaches forward and gives Josephine a comforting squeeze of the shoulder. I had no idea Josephine and Hussein were tight like that. Like, yeah, they crossed paths at a few events, but I never saw them chatting. I'm okay, dears. Josephine squeezes Lara's hand right back. It's just... something awful has happened. Well, yeah, something awful usually precedes a funeral. We lost Tiddles last night. Damn. 2 bereavements in one go? Josephine's going through it, boy. Wait, what kind of name is Tiddles? Oh, God. That doesn't sound like a human name, does it? He was the best cat we could have ever been blessed with. She starts sobbing, but huge, deep sobs that sound like they're coming from a giant who climbs beanstalks. We found him under a car this morning, but because of his arthritis, he must have dragged himself over with his 2 front paws. She wails as she quickly reenacts his last moments before grabbing back hold of the steering wheel. Now I know she loves that cat. Sounds like it was part of her family. But I'm not gonna lie. It's taken every fibre of my being not to laugh at that reenactment. I'm pouting really hard, because I know that if I open my mouth to comfort her, I'll just start howling. What actually sends me is a quick glance behind and a flicker of a grin on Lara's face. I snore. Thankfully, Josephine doesn't notice, and I'm able to disguise it as a genuine sniffle. I roll down the windows to let some of the awkwardness out and concentrate on the buildings and people going past. If I look at Josephine or Lara, I know I'll laugh. When we do eventually pull into the cemetery, there's already a few groups gathered and making their way into the crematorium. We thank Josephine for the lift, but she doesn't move from her seat. She needs a minute to compose herself. As Lara and I climb out the car, I notice her doing a long sigh. These things aren't always easy for her, so I say we should stick together. Apple crumble? I say encouragingly, our code phrase. Apple crumble. Lara nods and takes a deep breath. More cars arrive in a gravelly car park, and we know we're going to have to engage with random family members.